a far-off land, in a small village in Africa where peace and harmony abound, there lived a young lady named Lizzie. Lizzie was a beautiful and kind-hearted person with a smile that can brighten up the sky. Her father Maji Okoro was the one of the richest and famous men in the village. As the only child of his parents, Lizzie lacked nothing. From the food she eats to the best world classic and design clothes that she puts on. She was loved by everyone in the village. However, she had one major problem. She was fast approaching her 30th birthday and was still unmarried. Lizzie's parents were worried sick about her marital status. They had tried everything to get her married, from arranging meetings with eligible bachelors to performing rituals and sacrifices to appease the gods. But despite their best efforts, Lizzie remained single. As the years went by, Lizzie began to feel the weight of societal pressure. Her friends and peers were all married with children, and she couldn't help but feel like she was somehow incomplete. She started to doubt her own worth and wondered if she was destined to be alone forever. One day, she stumbled upon a wise old woman sitting under a tree. The old woman looked at her and said, "My daughter, I can see that you are troubled. What is it that weighs heavily on your heart?" Lizzie poured out her story to the old woman, telling her about her struggles to find a husband and her feelings of inadequacy. The old woman listened attentively, nodding her head from time to time. When Lizzie finished speaking, the old woman smiled and said, "My dear, you are like a beautiful flower that has not yet bloomed. You are focusing too much on the external validation of marriage rather than cultivating your own inner beauty and worth." Lizzie looked at the old woman in surprise. No one had ever told her that she was worthy and beautiful just as she did. The old woman continued, "Marriage is not the key to happiness, my dear. Happiness comes from within. Focus on developing your own strength, passions, and interests. When you are fulfilled and happy, the right person will come along and appreciate you for who you are." Lizzie felt a weight lift off her shoulder as she listened to the old woman's words. She realized that she had been focusing on the wrong things and that her worth and value came from within. From that day on, Lizzie made a conscious effort to focus on her own personal growth and development. She started taking classes, learning new skills, and pursuing her passions. She also began to appreciate her own company and learn to enjoy her solitude. As she did, she started to feel more confident and self-assured. Months went by, Lizzie's transformation was nothing short or remarkable. She had blossomed into a beautiful and confident woman, and people began to take notice. One day, whole Lizzie was out on a walk. She met a handsome man named Ibuka. Ibuka was an average man who was doing well for himself. "Lizzie, immediately I set my eyes on you. I fell in love with you. Please, can you be my friend? Let's build a good relationship that could lead to marriage," Ibuka said as he poured out his mind to Lizzie. Lizzie, after listening to what Ibuka said, looked at him but couldn't feel this connection between them. Instead, her mind became worried, mixed with anger. "I'm not interested, sir. I don't feel any connection between us. Please, do you mind if I should be on my way?" Lizzie politely asked as she left Ibuka, who was still standing staring at her. When Lizzie got home, she became worried. She didn't know why she felt the way she did. "But this is what I had been praying for all this while. Why did I feel and acted the way I did?" She kept on asking herself. She decided to pray and leave everything to God. Within 3 weeks, 4 prominent men had asked Lizzie's hand in marriage, but she bluntly refused all of them just as she did the first time with no tangible reason. One day, Amka, who was Lizzie's girlfriend, came to see Lizzie. Amka was married with 3 kids. "Lizzie, why do you keep on refusing all these men coming to seek your hand in marriage?" Amka asked with concern. "I don't love them, Amka. I can't just place my hand why I keep on refusing their proposal. Look at me, Lizzie. I am happily married with 3 children. Don't you want to be happy like me? Amka asked, trying to convince her friend. And who said that I am not happy as I am single? Please, marriage doesn't give happiness. I know, but marriage comes with its own happiness. Yes. That is when you marry the right person, Lizzie interrupted. And how will you know the right person when you keep on refusing all these men coming to marry you? Amka continued, don't you think it's time to give your aged parents grandchildren? I don't want to make the mistake of choosing the wrong partner. When I see the right person, I will settle down. Lizzie replied. A week later, Timothy, Mr. Obina's son, who based on the city, came with his father to Maji Okoro's compound to ask Lizzie's in marriage. But Lizzie refused the young man's proposal. His father became mad at her for refusing the proposal. Do you want to get old in this house? Don't you want to get married just like your mate? In fact, I am giving you only a month to look for a man that will marry you, if not you will leave this house. He said angrily as he left Lizzie's room. My child, what is the matter? Why are you refusing all these men coming to marry you? They have succeeded, my enemies have succeeded. Her mother cried. But mother, I don't love. And I don't want to do what I will regret later. Please mother, give some time, I know that I will see the right person. Is it when I die that you will see the right person? My child, I want to carry my grandchildren. Her mother said. That night, Lizzie couldn't sleep but wondered why she refused all the men coming to marry her. She made up her mind to go and see her pastor the following day. The following day, at the pastor's office, Lizzie complained bitterly to the pastor what she is passing through. You are at the right track, daughter of God. Don't stop praying and put your hope in God. But pastor, I don't know why you said that I am at the right track. I am not getting any younger and my parents are no more happy with me. Don't worry, daughter of Zion. The time appointed for your miracle is coming. Those men coming to marry you are not your own. Had it been you are not prayerful and marry any of them, you will have issues with them and your marriage will not last. Keep praying, child of God. The pastor prayed for Lizzie and also encouraged her to trust God. A month later, when Lizzie was going to her shop in the morning, she met a young man named Stanley. Stanley was 38 years old and also a very handsome man but looked poor and wrecked. He approached Lizzie and told her of his interest to marry her. Immediately, Lizzie heard Stanley's proposal, her mind found peace. Despite how poor and wrecked Stanley looked, Lizzie accepted to marry him. But unknown to Lizzie, Stanley was billionaire Don that had spent all his life in the United States. He decided to return to Nigeria and disguised himself as a poor man in order to find true love. Stanley left his village and went to Lizzie's village where nobody will recognize him to look for a wife. He first met Ada, but Ada, seeing how he looked, started to mock him. "Shoo, get size, go and look for your match," she said as she laughed at him. Lizzie was the second person that he met and he was happy inside his heart when Lizzie accepted him. I have found the right one, he said to himself. 2 days later, Stanley, still hiding his identity, came to Lizzie's house to make his intention known to her parents. "So of all the prominent and noble men that came to marry you, is this poor man that you accepted to be my son-in-law? Don't you know that I am one of the richest men in this village? So you want the villagers say that the only chief daughter got married to a poor man? Never. You can't marry him. Young man, can you this house this minute and I don't want to see you near my daughter again." Maji Okoro ranted as he walked Stanley out of his house. The villagers heard what happened and started mocking Lizzie. Of all the well-to-do men that came to marry her, is that poor man that she chose? The women said as Lizzie passed them. I heard is because of love, said the second one. Love my foot, she chose love over money mumu girl. The first woman replied as they laughed. Despite the mockery, Lizzie continued to secretly see Stanley. One day, Lizzie with her mother went and begged her father. Father, please forgive me, I know that I have wronged you. It's just that Stanley is the man that I want. Despite his appearance, I don't know why I still choose him. Lizzie begged. Honey, you have to allow our daughter to marry that young man. She is not getting any younger. Since that young man is who she wants, let her marry him. After all, not all marriage are bed of roses. All we should be praying for is for her to marry and be happy in her home, not the one that will turn her into a poaching bag because he has money. Maji Okoro, after seeing that his daughter has made up her mind and was not willing to leave Stanley, decided to approve their marriage. Lizzie was happy to tell Stanley about her father's approval to their marriage. This time, Stanley decided to reveal his real identity to Lizzie. Lizzie was surprised and confused at the same time. Honey, you mean that you disguised yourself just to find true love? That is not fair. What if I had rejected you? Lizzie asked. That means that you are not my wife, and because of you are my wife, that why you accepted me. Stanley thanked Lizzie for accepting him despite his appearance then and promised to take good care of her as his wife. When Maji Okoro learned that his soon-to-be son-in-law was a billionaire, he became so proud of daughter. That's my daughter, you have made me so proud, he said to Lizzie. He blessed their union and they got married. 6 months later, Lizzie joined her husband in the United States and they lived happily ever after. The end. Dear viewers, I hope you learned a lot from this interesting story. Share your thoughts on the comment box. And don't forget to like and share so that you will be notified when I post another interesting story. Thanks for watching.